In the 7th grade, I was required to go to a drug assembly. At this assembly, we learned about several different drugs and their effects on the body. One drug that stood out to me in particular was marijuana. The reason why it stuck out so much was because the informer showed two different pictures of two different brains. The first brain was of a user and the second was of a non-user. These two pictures side by side had a very clear and distinct difference. Now watching the news currently, I have seen that several different states have decided to legalize marijuana. This has made me doubt my opinion back in 7th grade and made me wonder if marijuana is okay. Is it really all that bad for me? After doing some research and watching news, I have formulated my opinion. I believe that marijuana should not be legalized. I believe it should not be legalized for 3 different reasons. The first being that marijuana is dangerous. Just because it's legal does not mean that it is safe. There are effects. Many people believe that it doesn't have as many effects as they thought before because it is legal, but this is false. According to a website called townhall.com, quote, a recent study published in the British Medical Journal shows that marijuana users who drove within 3 hours of smoking nearly doubled their chances of causing a crash compared with sober drivers. Now, many people believe that marijuana should be legalized because we have alcohol, which is legal, and marijuana is the safer choice. This is a silly idea. As the same website, townhall.com, states, quote, it suffice to say here that justifying the use of one drug because it's not so dangerous as another is a weak reasoning in any book and a bad grounds for justifying usage of either of them, unquote. We already have a problem with alcohol and drunk driving. Do we want to add marijuana to the mix? I think it will only make things worse. Also, marijuana does affect the body. On the website called howscienceworks.com, they go over how marijuana affects your body. The chemical called THC is found in marijuana, and it is what causes all these. It causes what makes you go high, but it also has short-term effects, whether you like it or not. These effects are on problem solving and on your memory. These two things are essential for Americans to thrive in this country. Without these two very basic parts of your brain that function, you wouldn't be able to do most jobs that are required in America. And also Americans would lose their competitive edge compared to other countries. Also, according to a website called drugabuse.gov, unlike what most people believe, marijuana is addictive. There has been several studies on this, and there is factual evidence that people do go through withdrawals after not using marijuana. On Fox News' Bill O'Reilly's show, there was a statistic given that currently there is only 1 person out of 6 that is addicted to marijuana. They forecast that once marijuana is legalized, that number will go up to 3 in 6, or 1 in 2. The second reason I believe that marijuana should not be legalized is because it will become more prevalent in schools. Since more parents will be allowed to have marijuana because it is legal for them, this will make it more accessible to their kids living at home. And also, it will be harder for their parents to regulate how much they have and see if there is some taken or not. Also, there are several devices that are currently being used to help students be able to abuse this substance. In a recent blog by Michelle Roberts reporting on a principal speaking on this issue, they talked about several different devices, one being the vapor pen, which allows someone to light up without there being any smell. This device makes it easier for students to be able to smoke anywhere they want and without being caught. Currently, today, right now, there are several drugs in school. Legalizing marijuana will only make this problem worse, and it will make marijuana in schools even more prevalent. Also, this drug is very dangerous for young people, like other drugs. Um, on a website, on the website drugabuse.gov, a recent study of marijuana users who began using in adolescence revealed substantial reduction cognitively among brain areas responsible for learning and memory. This affects kids, and it won't stop. And if we allow marijuana to be legalized, kids will be using this. Do we really want young people to be able to get this drug from home? I believe this will only worsen the problem. My third and final reason is because marijuana causes brain damage. Again, according to the website How Science Works, it talks about THC. And THC effects on the brain are short-term memory, coordination, learning, problem solving. Now these are just on the brain, but there also are effects on mental health. These effects are distorted perception, difficulty with thinking and problem solving, loss of coordination, increased heart rate. These are very strong reasons for not legalizing marijuana. Also, again, according to the website drugabuse.gov, a number of studies have linked chronic marijuana users and mental illness. High doses of marijuana can produce a temporary psychotic reaction involving hallucinations and paranoia. In some users, and using marijuana can worsen the course of illness in patients with schizophrenia. With all these reasons, do we want to legalize marijuana? I believe the answer is no. I have only stated 3 of the reasons why I believe marijuana should not be legalized, but there are several and many more. I believe if America keeps going down this path, things are only going to get worse. Thank you.